We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. This is the March meeting of the Elizabethton Board of Education. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Van Huss, who will lead us in a moment of silence, and then we will have the national anthem and then the pledge. So, Mr. Van Huss.
Okay, please stand. Pause for a moment of silence. Thank you.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hurled at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red lamp above bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, it's time to approve the consent and regular agenda. Can I get a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve.
And a second? Second. All right. Any changes anybody would have? Okay. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda and the regular agenda, please say aye. Aye. And any opposed? And there are none. This time, we're scheduled for citizens to speak. We did not have anyone asked to speak before the board, so we'll move on to special recognitions. There were 4 originally scheduled. We will have 3 of those, and I would like to ask that if everybody would remain until all 3 groups are recognized, and there will be a time if you would like to leave before the main part of the meeting. We will let you know that, and you'll be able to do that. But you're welcome to stay if you'd like. So at this time, Mr. Van Huss, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Pless. Ms. Googe, if you'll come forward with the choral students.
Is it me?
Mm-hmm.
Certainly don't want to upstage these fine young people over here. The ensembles and some of the individuals in the choir have really been blessed with many successes this year. First, I want to thank all of you for all you do. This was supposed to have happened last month, and it was the day my dad passed, so I appreciate you all allowing us to postpone that until this time. But now spring sports have begun, and we have about, would you say about 2/3 of our students that are in spring sport, which is tremendous. So what we're recognizing tonight from the choral department is, let's talk about J.B. Lyle first real quickly. We had our regional choral competition last month, and the girls received a score of excellent and had a perfect score in sight reading. That's pretty hard to do. And the gentlemen, the men's ensemble, had an overall superior, and they will be in the State Choral Festival on April 22nd in Knoxville. Now we have some other students, All-State students, just step out of it. Okay, we have this many All-State students plus Carson, who is playing tennis and singing at Old Red tonight, so, you know. But notice that Gabriel and Emmeline have on a ribbon. They are first chair All-State, both of them, soprano 1 and bass 2. We're very, very happy about that. Carson's second chair. We also have on the All-State list Preston Darling in the tenor section, Dawson May and Gibson White, both in the bass 2 section, along with Gabe, who's a bass, Gabriel Short, who, as you know, is also in the National Honor Choir. So he's had quite a year. And Emmeline Grubbs, who is first chair soprano 1. We have other ensemble members here tonight. We have Rachel and our basketball girls, Sage and Maddie. We have Dan over here, who's come straight from tennis, and Corey. We have many spring sports people that are out of town tonight, and we're very grateful for our athletics, and we try to support one another. And I just want to say thank you to Mr. Van Hess and the board for giving us this opportunity to recognize these fine students.
Hold on just one second.
Hang on.
Let's get a group photo. If we can, maybe half of you step up onto the platform there and squeeze together. Yes.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you very much. Now I think Coach Holt is going to pinch hit for our wrestling coaches who are in other activities tonight.
That's right, I'm hitting the mats tonight. So, wrestling team, if you guys would come up here and stand, please. And Coach Morrell couldn't be here tonight. He is coaching middle school soccer, along with our middle school wrestling coach, Travis Pennell. So, they're having fun. And before I go on, Deb mentioned a lot of her students are playing spring sports. Every one of our spring programs are competing right now. 4 at home, and then track is away at Sullivan East. Everything else is playing right now. So if you want to come out and catch a game or something tonight, there's everything going on. So, but we're here tonight to recognize this wrestling team, and man, wrestlers are special people, and I don't know how they do what they do. They work extremely hard. A lot of sweat, right, guys and girls? But wrestling's one of those sports that, you know, it is a team sport in a sense that you compete for points in your match for your team to win the wrestling match. But when you're out on the mat and it's you versus the opponent, you can't look around and blame anybody. So all the work that you've done culminating up to your win or loss is all on you. And so they're out in front of everybody, all eyes on them at one time. So, guys, I appreciate what you do. We recognize all the work that you put in. We're proud of you. So Coach Merrill says we're in a rebuilding phase, having lost over a dozen state qualifiers in the past 2 seasons. Still this year, they qualified 4 wrestlers for the state tournament. Those were Sophia Perry, who medaled at 6th place at the 132 weight class. Trenton Taylor medaled 5th at the 285. Isaiah King and Holden Roten were other state qualifiers. We're excited by our middle school program, producing hard workers to supplement our growing high school program. 3/4 of the high school team are underclassmen, so a lot of these guys are coming back. Our middle school program produced 4 state placers this year, the most for any middle school team from Elizabethton since the middle school program began. Our elementary program, through AAU and USA Wrestling, which Eddie has also headed up, has done a great job getting students exposed to wrestling at an early age, and has also produced state placers this year. One of those was my son, it's the midget weight class. The midget 112. So the future of wrestling in Elizabethton is certainly bright, and thanks to the help of involved parents and staff, the future will be even better, and we look forward to that. So thank you, guys, and thank you for allowing us to recognize this team tonight.
Good job. So same drill there. If half of you can step up on the platform and squeeze together and then move across, there you go. Okay, so Coach Andrews, if you'll come up and we'll recognize the girls' basketball team.
First off, before say anything about the girls, we want to thank, on behalf of our program, the central office and the board for all their support. I know I got one text once we got on the bus after we got beat of the central office sitting here watching our game, pictures of that, and that just sent cold chills up my spine, and I sent it to the girls, and I know they were proud of that, you know. But this team right here, there was not a lot of people expecting much out of this team because they were so young. There's not one senior standing up here. And then when we made the schedule at the first of the year, it was ranked the #1 in the state in AAA for the strength of schedule. And, you know, as the season went on, that changed a little bit. But they ended up winning. They was co-conference champs. They ended up winning the district, won the region, won the sub-state, and finished Elite 8 in the state tournament. Extremely proud of them. We're missing, I think, one. Is that right, Olivia? She's running track right now. So just extremely proud. This is probably the hardest working group of girls that I have ever been around, probably the hardest group of team that I have ever been around. It's littered with all conference, all district, all region, co-player of the year. I'm not going to get into individual because I know I'll miss somebody and screw it up. But all state MVPs, just extremely proud of them. Coaches, you got anything else? Girls, you got anything? And like just Coach Holt just said, one of the worst feelings as a coach that I've ever experienced is when you walk to the dressing room for that last game after you've got beat, trying to figure out what you're going to say to a senior, as they're probably there showing a lot of emotion. And then when we're walking down the tunnel of the Murphy Center, I get to the door and think, thank God I don't have to make that speech today. That's it. Right up there. Good deal. Thank you. Carol.
Last thing I would like to add is, you know, anytime that last game that, you know, there's only one winner at the end of the season that's excited, but the fact that they lost to the team that went on to win the state championship is further exemplifies what an outstanding season they had. So,
Again, we'd like to thank all of the students and chaperones, parents, coaches, sponsors that are represented here tonight. You bring us a lot of joy. Generally, people don't want to talk to us about what we do, but they want to talk about our kids and what they've done if we go to things. So thank you again for always representing Elizabethton school system and our community just in a magnificent way. We really do appreciate it. At this time, if you really have nothing else to do tonight, you're more than welcome to stick around for the regular meeting, but if you would like to go, this would be the time to go. And we thank you again for being here.
Oh, I've actually just changed my decision. I'm going to Marines. Okay. I'm excited to become MOS.
well, let me know if you need anything from me.
How's your day going?
Going well. Going well, dude.
Put on about 20 pounds since the
I
season.
know you look good. You look great. Yeah.
I'm ready to keep on the truck and stuff.
Awesome.
Awesome. Have a good day.
You too. Appreciate you.
Okay. Okay.
Cleared the room, didn't we?
Yeah. Poor old Aubrey has to wait for Maggie.
Knows how to clear the room. Thanks, John.
Okay, and we'll move on to reports, and at this time, I'll turn it over to Mr. Van Hust for the director's update.
Thank you, sir. Again, just congratulations to the students that we were able to recognize again tonight. We have the fortune to do that. It seems like every meeting, and that's always the highlight of any meeting in my thoughts. Just all the tremendous things that are going on in our system. So we're very, very proud of them. I would like to highlight this past Monday we had a visit from Standards Work in recognition of the district's work on early literacy and foundational skills in that area. It was a fantastic visit. Again, it was just a spotlight on the great work that our teachers, administrators, staff, and students are doing in this area. I know, Mr. Pless, you were fortunate enough to be here and be a part of that as well. It was a fantastic day. I think sometimes as educators, we end up in the day-to-day, just that continuous process of teaching and trying to get better at our craft. And Monday was an opportunity to just kind of sit back and kind of reflect and talk about all the great things that have been going on in early literacy in Elizabethton. And I'm very, very proud to be a part of this system and be a part of the work that's going on. So it was a great day. It's one of those banner days that you go home with a smile on your face, just very, very excited. Again, how blessed we are to be in Elizabethton with all the people that we have working with students. So just wanted to highlight that opportunity that we had, and again, just appreciate all the hard work that's going on there. We continue to follow the progression through the state legislature on the new potential new funding formula for education. We're excited about what that could mean to Elizabethton City Schools. It would be an increase in funding. We're not exactly sure what that number would look like at this point, but preliminary numbers look favorable for the district. The fact that it's a student-based model will be to our benefit. The fact that the governor has proposed to add another $1 billion to funding education in Tennessee, we're very, very excited about. With any formula, there are things that could be better. There are things that, as directors in school systems, we would like to see changed. But at the end of the day, it's much better than what we have now. So I'll be attending a TOSS workshop next week in Nashville, and that will be a large part of what we talk about. We'll be taking some up-to-date current numbers in certain categories of our student population, and so we'll be able to plug that in and see exactly what the formula would generate based on current to-date student counts. So I'll be sharing some more information with you on that as we move forward. But again, we're very appreciative of the governor and the legislature for tackling this problem that's needed to be addressed for a long time, and it looks favorable for our district if we move forward. So I'll be keeping you updated on that as we move forward. Again, thank everyone for their participation in the workshop 2 weeks ago, the capital workshop and budget workshop. We will be planning an additional budget workshop for next month, so there'll be more information on that as well. That's really all I have today, but again, just thank you very much for all that you do for the school system, and again, we thank our staff for all the hard work they're doing as well.
Thank you, Mr. Van Hust. It's next time for board members' report. Do we have any board members that would like to report on anything in particular? I know that, check out the Law Institute. I know that we received some information from Felicia and Mr. Van Hust. Hopefully, if you're interested, you've signed up for that. And I think there's a lunch online meeting maybe in a couple of Fridays that might explain some of the funding. Anybody have anything else? Okay, we'll move on to City Council Liaison Report, and I don't think Mr. Simley is here tonight, which means we'll slide over to Miss Maggie for Student Liaison Report. Do you have anything you'd like to share?
We just got the results back, I think yesterday or the day before, from those SEL surveys, so I've not gotten a chance to fully go over them yet.
Okay.
but I can talk about them more next.
Okay,
Yeah,
that'll be good.
that's
We
all I
look
have.
forward to hearing about that, okay? All right, it's time to move on to the regular agenda. First item is to approve an adjustment in professional development days to the 2022-2023 Elizabethton City School calendar. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
And a second?
Second.
Okay, any explanation which day it is? I know our days.
Absolutely, yep. So the original calendar that was approved, there were 2 professional development days on February 20th and February the 21st, 2023. We recently met with the consortium that we work with on cyclone checkpoints and benchmark assessments, and we try to line that up across the region. Once that was completed, we saw the need for a professional development day following the third administration of the benchmark to allow teachers a chance to dig into that data to help them with instruction. So we're proposing to move the 21st professional development day, again, from February 21st to March 24th. Okay, so that's the requested change.
Any questions or concerns about that? All right, the item is to approve an adjustment in professional development days to the 2022-2023 Elizabethton City School calendars. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. And any opposed? And there are none. Next item, to approve Blackburn Childress and Stegall, PLC, for ESSER pre-monitoring preparation services through June 30, 2024, at a cost not to exceed $56,200. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Motion, and is there a second?
Second.
Second, okay.
So let me speak a little bit about this, if you will allow me. There was a grant provided by the state to help us with ESSER monitoring, and so this would be pre-monitoring, and it just made sense that we use Blackburn Childress and Stegall because they're already do our audits for us. So they have agreed to do that. Again, this would all come from grant funding. It won't come a penny from general purpose or school funds. And so we're pleased that, number one, they were willing to do that, and the fact that the state provided these funds to do that. So it will provide our staff an extra layer in preparation before that monitoring reporting is required. I appreciate your consideration on this approval.
Any questions about that or any thoughts? All right. Item is to approve Blackburn Childress and Stegall, PLC, for ESSER pre-monitoring preparation services through June 30th, 2024, at a cost not to exceed $56,200. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And there are none. Next item, approve first reading of revised board policy 1.102, board members' legal status. Can I get a motion to approve that?
Motion to approve.
And a second.
Second.
Okay.
Okay, the only change on this is a TSBA recommended policy change based on recent legislature changes there. Not anything significant there, other than before there was a reference to not being allowed to participate in partisan elections, which, as you know, the statute has changed on that. So that's all this is a TSBA recommend change on that.
Okay. Questions? All right. Items to approve first reading of revised board policy 1.102, board members' legal status. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. And any opposed? There are none. Next item, to approve math implementation grant application to the Tennessee Department of Education. Can I get a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve.
And a second?
Second.
And a second, okay?
So this is another grant opportunity from the State Department to help us with the implementation of a new math curriculum that would start for the 23-24 school year. So next year would be the process where we would select a text for that. So this grant will allow us to partner, contract with a third party that would come in and help us, again, in understanding the standards, those different materials that we have that we can put together to help us with math instruction. So that's what this grant is. And so we've actually already applied for this through the state, but part of the process is the board has to take action on that as well. So that's why this item is before you now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
so there you go. So
Okay.
just been approved, so.
All right.
No pressure or anything.
Okay. All right. So the item is to approve the approved math implementation grant application to the Tennessee Department of Education. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. And any opposed? And there are none. Okay, I'm happy to announce that the next regularly scheduled board meeting will be held the 21st day of April, 2022 at 5:30 here. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion, and we are done. Have a good night. Go catch a game. Support our kids.
It is.
It was always a tough one.
Yes.
You did good.